So testing is a process of executing a program with the intent of finding an error. So whatever the testing you are doing for an application, your intention is to find an error, that's it. So actually this material is prepared for testers, not for BA, but as a business analyst, you people also should know something about testing. Okay. So it's not about 100% you should know, at least 70% you should know, because you are a business analyst and you should know everything. And also you do user acceptance testing here, right? So that is the reason knowledge is important. Okay. Because when you talk to testers, you should know what is happening, what's going on, what other things are happening, and all these things. Because you prepare test plans, right? Next. Software testing is a critical element of software quality assurance and represents the ultimate review of system specification, design, and coding. See, whatever when I say coding, when I say testing, the testing should happen to coding, designing, everything. It is not only the designed application at the end of the day. You have to even test the code also, program, design, everything. Testing is the last chance to uncover the errors. Yes, this is the last chance. After that, there is no other chance. Defects in the software and facilitate delivery of quality system. Okay. Next, primary role of testing. Let's see here. Determine whether system meets specifications. Determine whether system meets needs. So what they are saying here is, so did business analyst gathered all the requirements properly or not? From there the testing starts. Okay, just listen carefully what I'm saying. So as per the requirements, so did business analyst gathered all the requirements from the client or not? That is first step. So if business analyst has not gathered requirements properly, then there is a chance of project failure. Okay. So we have to see that all the requirements are gathered properly or not first. Second point. So did client explain to you all the requirements or not? Because if client misses any requirement, again there will be ambiguity, right? So that is second point. Yes, if client has not given you complete requirements, if client misses any requirement, then the project will fail at the end of the day. Okay, and the third point is, so according to the requirements, these designers designed the application or not? Correct? Because designers will look into the diagrams, wireframes, requirements, and they will design. So we have to see that these designers designed the application according to the requirements which were given by business analyst or not. If not, again the project will fail. Okay, let's say designers designed it properly. Then coming to developers. So these developers, did they understand the requirements? Did they understand the data flow diagrams, system flow diagrams, function flow diagrams, and requirements of all the three types of requirements, and they designed it and they write the program according to that? So if they didn't understand, if any requirement is missing, then the programming will be wrong. Okay. So like this, in every area, we need a testing. That is the thing we discussed about V-shaped model, correct? Do you remember V-shaped model? V stands for verification validation. In that, every phase we tested, correct? Designing we tested, development we tested, requirements gathering we tested. Testing company, as I told you. Right. So these are the areas. So we have to see in each and every area that this testing is we are doing it, we are identifying the bugs or not, we are satisfying the requirements or not. Okay. Yeah, do you have any doubts?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sriram, how do you verify and validate the requirements? How do you test it?
See, clients will give you all the requirement documents. It happens only in V-shaped model. Okay.
Right.
It happens only in V-shaped model, not in other models. In V-shaped model, what happens? The testing people, when you look into V-shaped model, in the right side you have the testing team, right? So they will ask all the documents which were given, which client had gave you. Okay, they will also interact with the client, and they will also undergo the meetings and sessions, and they will understand whether the requirements BA had gathered right or wrong. Because this V-shaped model is mostly used for, as I told you, sensitive projects, right? Highly reliable projects like banking applications or high secure applications. There is no chance. We should not give a single chance, a minute chance for the failure of the project. Okay. So that is the reason these people will involve, and they will work with us, and they will look into each and every things, each and every point, each and every topic, what we are doing. Okay?
Right. So, say
yeah.
for example, if there is a project for cybersecurity, they are more likely to use this V-shaped model.
Exactly, of course. They will tell you, they will decide that this should be V-shaped model. I mean, V-shape means doing thorough testing. Very simple. When you will go with V-shaped model means when you want to do thorough testing. Thorough testing means what? Each and every stage you have to test. So it is not possible by normal software companies because they will be having these people also they will have testing teams. But they test after the development. They test after the development. So at that time what happens, maybe there is a chance of missing some requirements. Okay? Maybe there is a chance of missing some requirements. But that doesn't affect much. See, for such type of projects, that doesn't affect much. But when you look into some secured applications, like as I told you, banking applications or something, we need a thorough testing because a small mistake can change the number, correct? A small mistake can change the number. So it's a matter of money. It's a matter of, so when you look into healthcare applications, it's a matter of health. So these all are sensitive or not? So for example, you are designing a retail application, retail industry like for CS Holdings or Walmart. For that, we don't need much security because nothing happens there. Correct? Nothing, we are not going to lose much in the retail industry. But when you look into banking, people can hack, people can, maybe sometimes you may log into some other application, some other account. Correct? So like this. This is all we use this V-shape testing, and as I told you, this material is for testers. So in testing, they will teach you about V-shape model only, because only for testers they don't teach all other models. Only V-shape model they will teach. Okay, so whatever we are talking, it all belongs to testing. Okay, fine. So like this, the thorough testing should be done. So what I am trying to say here is, if any I mean, there is a chance of missing the requirements in any level. That can be at the requirement gathering, that can be at the designing, that can be at development, that can be at testing. Even if BA has not designed the test cases properly, then see, let's say BA forgot to mention some requirements in test cases. Correct. So then they don't do the testing, right? Testers will not do the testing because that requirement is not in the test case document. You know test case template, we discussed about it, correct? So BA is a person who have to write all the test cases. For each and every functional requirement, BA have to write each and every functional test case. If BA miss any functional test case, then what happens? The testing people will not test it. It's pretty simple. So let's say login page. If BA has not mentioned the login page in test case document, then testers will never test it because that is not in a test case document. Clear? So like this, each and every area you have to be very careful. That's what they are saying here. Determine whether system meets needs, determine whether system meets specifications and needs. Next, secondary role of testing. Instill confidence. See, I'll tell you here something. Let's say you give a project to a developer, designer and a project manager and a business analyst who have around 20 years of experience. Okay. Let's say you handle the project to very senior people. So do you think that, okay, let's say BA had gathered all the requirements, project manager and managed the team properly, designer, developer, they did the project. That's good. If you ask a developer or a designer or a BA or a project manager that whatever the project you designed is right, it will give you 100% out result. So do you think that they will say yes? Do you think that they are confident that what they have done? See, they did, of course. They are very senior people. Whatever they do, that's right. But is there any guarantee that whatever they design is run, it will run properly at the end of the day? Tell me. Without testing, without doing testing, can I release the application by giving this project to the senior people?
No, you cannot.
I cannot because they are not confident, because designer and developers, of course they use their skills and the design, but the bugs can be from anywhere, the errors can be from anywhere. Bugs are nothing but errors. Okay, like maybe the application may not support operating system, maybe the software what you designed is may not support some other things. So maybe, so there is no confidence. So that's what I am saying. Secondary role of testing. Testing is for bring the confidence in the developer. Okay. Provide insight into software development process. Continuously improve the testing process. Yes. So testing should not happen all at a time. It goes continuously. It grows continuously because the requirements are linked with each other, right? You cannot do exhaustive testing at a time. Exhaustive means you cannot test application at a time. Slow, step by step. Like you start with Gmail login page, then compose button, then send button. Like this it will go one after another because they are related with each other. Okay, next, why test? I asked, just now I told you, right? Why test? Developer not sellable. Yes. Of course, they are very senior people, but there is no guarantee. If you ask them guarantee, they cannot give you. Why? Because the bugs can be in compilers, languages, databases, operating systems. I mean, that may not support the programming, or that may not support the language, that may not support the database or operating system or whatnot. Anything. Certain bugs easier to find in testing. Yes. At the time of testing, you will easily find certain bugs, and certain bugs are not easier. I'll tell you something here. Why we need a support team? Tell me. See, we designed a project. Okay. Okay, let's take a small example. You brought a new iPhone today. Okay. So if you feel that the iPhone is the best phone, if you feel that iPhone is the best phone than others, and it will not, it don't have any errors, any bugs, then why do we need support? Why do we have service centers and all these things? And why do we have online support, offline support, and why they will say that 1 year guarantee, warranty? Why? Because already it's tested, right? Already they're designed in a right way. Then why? Then why some of the phones will immediately, after 2 days or 3 days only, they will hang off. They'll go down. Sometimes it happens, correct? Maybe your touchscreen may not work. Maybe your connectivity it is unable to reach the signal. Maybe some software problem inside it. Why? Because already the tested and designed it, right? And that's an Apple product. You should not get never get an error. So it is not like if you will never get an error, you will get it. That is the reason we have service center. Even if you buy a laptop or whatnot, every product you buy, you will have a service center and you will have a support team. Correct? So in the same way, whatever the project you design, you will have a support team at the end of the day. Okay? So what I am trying to say here is, when you use the application, in reality you will find the bugs. Okay? See, they designed a phone and they sell it to you, you buy the product, now you started using it. After 1 month, you are trying to install something. Okay? Or something happened to your phone. So, many bugs will identify at the time of the real use, the real world use. You got my point? See, when you say mobile, generally how they test? They will see that the call button, end button, and the internet and the games, whatever the internal games are there, it's working or not. That's it. They will test it according to that camera and everything. They will send in the market. Now, after buying, you install some third-party software or third-party games. Like you try to install MS Visio in your mobile. You try to install MS Office in your mobile. But how many applications they will test? Just think, iPhone people, how many applications? There are some hundreds and thousands of applications that you can install on your phone. So how do you think that they will test all these things? No, they won't test it. They will test with some standards, that's it. Like it should work like this, it should install so and so files, it should install so and so files. That is the reason you will see the upgradations. Why do you think the upgradations happens all the time? iPhone, Android 4 to 5, iPhone 7 to 7.1, 7.2. Why do you think there's upgradations? Because they'll be getting bugs, they'll be getting complaints. Hey, I'm trying to install MS Office, it is not finding in. Now they will upgrade it by adding some new requirements to it. This is how it goes. That is the reason every 6 months, 3 months you will be getting your mobile will be upgrading or versions will be changing. iPhone 4S, 5S, 6S, like this, 6 like this. Why? Because this is the reason. Okay? I think you are understanding what I am saying. Right. Now, don't want customers to find bugs. Yes. Why you are testing means, if customer finds what happens, they will simply sue you. I mean, support team will be there for some requirements, not like, You design a mobile phone and the call button is not working. So that should work, right? Call button should work. If call button is not working, means they will simply sue you. Client will sue you. Because they invested a lot of money and time on you, and even if it doesn't work the minimum requirement, then it's waste. Good test designing is challenging and rewarding. Yes. Always. Okay? Not only test, good designing, good development, good programming, good analysis, always challenging and rewarding. And this is all about testers, tester maturity. Okay? Let's see this. How tester should think. Okay? No difference between testing and debugging. Test only to support debugging. See, why you people should know about tester maturity levels? Because you'll be working with testers, right? You should know what the fellow is thinking, what's happening. Okay, you have to connect a direct bridge between your thoughts and your testing person thoughts. You have to understand what the fellow is doing, what the fellow is talking. Otherwise, there will be a very big question mark all the time whenever you talk to testers. Okay, right. Let's see here. No difference between testing and debugging. Test only to support debugging. Debugging is nothing but fixing the bugs. That's it. Okay, finding the bugs and fixing the bugs. So when you test, what happens? You get an error and you fix the error. Tester will fix the error. Phase 1. Purpose is to show that the software works. Yes. Why you are testing? To show that a software is working. Okay. Otherwise, how can you give a guarantee that this software is working? Correct. Purpose is to show that the software does not work. Yes. Second one. The third one. Purpose is not to prove anything, but to reduce the risk of not working to an acceptable value. It is not like it is like not to prove anything, but to reduce the risk of not working to an acceptable value. Okay, so you are not here to prove that developer is wrong, designer is wrong. Okay, you are not here to prove that these people are wrong, these people are right. What I am trying to say here is, you are here, testers are here to reduce the risk of work. That's it. By finding bugs. Next, phase 4. Testing is a mental discipline resulting in low risk software without much testing effort. So testing should happen with low effect. Means what? Low testing effect means designers, developers. See, first listen carefully. Requirements gathering is done by business analyst, right? This fellow should reverse engineering first. Business analyst. I mean, reverse engineering means BA should test the application what that fellow has designed. I mean, BRD document. Whether the fellow has inserted all the requirements or diagrams or not. So then coming to developers. So once coming to designers, once the designers design the application, they have to see that according to the requirements the designing is done or not. Once, twice, thrice they have to test it by themselves. Got it? Let's say there is a designer team. Let's say 5 people. So these 5 people, they have to exchange their work and they have to test and they have to see. I mean, test means they have to check the things whether the design is right or wrong. At the same time, it comes to development also, programmers. Let's say 5 programmers. So one programmer should test the other programmer program, and that fellow should test the other programmer program. Got it? So if they do it for twice, thrice, like 4 or 5 times, then they will come out like whatever the bugs, whatever the mistakes they had did, and they will rectify. But many times what happens, they don't do everything, these all things. They simply design, develop, write a program and throw in front of tester because there is a testing team, right? So if they find any bug, then these people will work on it. I have seen many people. They don't look into the things again and again. They will just overall, they will look into the thing and they will say that yes, it is working, that's it. You got my point, right? But that is not the right exercise. Because when you do, see, that is your job. When you design something, when you develop something, if you do twice or thrice, if you look into that, you will identify some bugs and you can fix it up. So that when it comes to testing, for testers it will be easy. Correct? Otherwise they will stuck up with this requirement and then you people have to work on it. They have to wait until that time. Correct? Again they have to look into the other one. Again they will identify the bug. Again they have to wait. So it takes a lot of time. That is the reason what we have to do is we have to test by ourselves. So that's it. Testing is a mental discipline resulting in low risk software. Okay, fine. So testing is a mental discipline resulting in low risk software without much testing effort. Let's see. Testing as a state of mind. The goal is testability. Reduce the labor of testing. Testable code has less bugs. What do you mean by reduce the labor of testing? See, if there are huge bugs, then we need more people, more team, more technology, correct? Test it. So better you reduce it. Testable code has less bugs here. If you have less bugs, then the less work will be at the testing. And the project we can finish it earlier, soon. Otherwise, it takes a lot of time to test it again, go back again, test it, go back. It takes a lot of time, right? So better you do it. The next, is testing everything? As I told you, right? Is testing everything? Yes, of course, testing is everything. Without testing, we cannot do anything. So here are some effective methods. These are saying that there are other approaches to create good software. So without testing also we can release the project, but if these methods are effective, let's say inspection. So can you do the inspection 100%? Can you do the design style 100%? Is there any guarantee? Can you do static analysis and language checks 100%? Can you design the planned development environment 100% properly? No, it is not possible. If you are okay with all these things, then no need of testing. Okay? Can testing be replaced? No, not yet. I don't know what is it. Testing be replaced. Okay, leave it. Next one are okay. This is all about test cases. Already we talked about it, right? Let me. Yeah. We talked about test case. Let's say a good test case is one that has a high probability of finding an as yet undiscovered error. Yes. So who will write this test case? DA, right? So DA should write. DA should prepare a test case template and put all the test cases in that. A successful test is one that uncovers an as yet undiscovered error. Correct. All tests should be traceable to customer requirements. Yes. Test cases. Each test case should be traced to customer requirement. Correct? We did RTM, right? Tests should be planned long before testing begins. Yes. So when this test case is prepared, when we will prepare at the time of requirement gathering only, right? So that's what they are saying. Testing should be planned long before testing begins. Testing should begin in small and progress towards testing in the large. Yes. Okay. Testing should begin in small and progress towards testing in large. Exhaustive testing is not possible. See, what do you mean by the small and large? I'll tell you. See, you cannot do testing at a time. That is nothing but exhaustive testing. And the testing should start somewhere from the corner, from the root, okay? And slowly it should reach to the level like branches, stems like this, okay? Exhaustive testing is not possible. Exhaustive means at a time you cannot test 100 requirements, bunch of requirements. Next, testing involves generate test conditions cases. Yes, test conditions are done by testers, testing manager, test lead. What do you mean by condition? How much to test, what not to test, what to test. Okay. So let's say there are 2000 requirements. So among these 2000 requirements, we think that we have to test all the 2000 requirements. No, no one will test all the 2000 requirements. We will test only the important must requirements. You remember must, should, could and won't, right? So mostly we test must and should, and after that we don't do. So must is done 100% testing, should is done 80% testing, like this. Clear? Because we don't get sufficient time to test all the application. What I am trying to say is, if you are doing 100% testing for 2000 requirements, it will take 1 year. But if you have only 3 months of time, then what you will do? See how it works, okay? Next. So the conditions they will write. So this testing, this login page, we have to do so and so testing. so and so time, so and so level, like this. Create required test environments. Yes, of course. Testing environment where the testing takes place. Okay. Execute test by initiating application under test and applying inputs that are specified in the already generated test cases. Execute test by initiating application under test and applying inputs that are specified in already generated test cases. So you already generate test cases, right? If any new test cases comes, you have to add into them, test cases, correct? Compare actual results with expected results. Inside the test case, you will see this actual result, expected result. If you remember, do you remember that, like expected, actual result, both are same, then test pass, otherwise test fail. The same thing is here. Results, test passed or failed. So this is all about test case template. Next. This is all theory part only, okay? It's not a big deal to understand, but just you have to look into this. You should know all these things. Okay, software testing is carried out through all the phases of development. What do you mean by all the phases of development? V-shaped model, right? Correct? All the stages, you have to test it. And effective testing begins with a proper plan from the user requirement stage itself. Correct? As I told you, right? At the time of user requirement, BA gather requirements, right? From there only you have to start. I mean, test preparing and all this. Software testability is the easy with which a computer program is tested. Yes. Metrics can be used to measure the testability of the product. What do you mean by metrics? Measures. Like this requirement should be tested 80%, this requirement should be tested 100%, depending on the priority of the requirement. Metrics are nothing but calculations. Okay? Metrics are nothing but values, percentages, like this. Okay? Next, operability. So no one will ask you all these things, don't worry. Yeah. Go ahead.
Right. I mean, how to determine that this should be tested at 80% or this should be 20%?
Test lead will decide. It depends on.
Okay.
Listen.
Not BA, right? Not BA.
Now I will tell you. Suppose there is a must requirement. So must means you have to do 100%. Correct?
Okay.
Very simple. You forget about tester and everyone. Just look into the requirement. We have must, should, could, and won't requirement. Must requirement means obviously you have to test it 100%.
Right.
So like this. If you take an example of mobile, call button 100% we have to test. Because the main usage of cell phone is call. And before that what is the must? Connectivity. So connectivity should be tested 110%. Why? Because without connectivity, what is the use of phone? So the must requirements are connectivity, 100%. Call button is 100%. End button, 80%. Because anyhow the call will disconnect. If you didn't disconnect, the other fellow, the opposite side fellow will also disconnect, right? I'm just giving some fishy examples. Okay. So no need of doing 100% testing for such requirements. Or let's say some other there will be some hundreds of requirements which we don't use in phone. You got my point?
Okay.
Do you use voice recorder all the time? No, right? It depends on a person. So I never use headphones. I never use the headphones. So some people use always headphones. So like this, if you look into any individual cases, if you see, some people they don't even look into that sometimes. Some people they don't even play games. Some people all the time. So what I'm trying to say is they will just see the priority of the requirement. Which one is the top? Which one is less? Like this. According to that, they will take the application. And who will decide this means? It completely depends on the requirement only. Is it a must requirement or whatever the requirement? It completely depends on the priority of the requirement. And who will decide this means? Test leads, test managers. They will decide by looking into the requirements. Test cases, that's it. Okay? Operability. The better the software works, the more effectively it can be tested. What do you mean by the better the software works? If designers, developers, these people have tested their applications by themselves thoroughly, and when they send it to testing, then here you will find very less bugs. When you find less bugs, then very fast you can do it. That's what I'm saying. Okay. So the better the software works, the more effectively it can be tested. So when it will be effectively tested if there are no bugs. Otherwise, it will hang off in the middle. You will stuck up in the middle with the bugs. That's it. You cannot go forward. Observability. What is seen is what is tested. Yes. What is seen is what is tested means must. Okay. What you want. What are the requirements really you want to see? That must be tested. Perfect. Controllability. The better the software is controlled, the more the testing can be automated and optimized. Yeah. The better the software is controlled means what? The same thing again. If you have less bugs, then you can easily control it, you can easily understand it, and you can easily test it. Decomposability. Decomposability means break it down into parts. Work breakdown and test it. That's it. Don't test completely. For example, you are testing an operating system, so they are interlinked with each other, like computer, control panel, and all that. Don't test like that, because if you stuck up with computers, then you cannot control. Then you cannot go with the control panel or other applications, right? So just break it down into small tasks and test it. By controlling the scope of testing, problems can be isolated quickly and smarter testing can be performed. Correct? Individual testing. Simplicity. The less there is to test, the more quickly it can be tested. Stability. The fewer the changes, the fewer the descriptions of testing. Correct. So don't do huge changes in the project. I mean, let's say you design something today, after the development, again client wants you to add some 100 requirements. So don't do such type of, if the hundreds and hundreds of requirements are changing, means obviously there is a chance of getting huge bugs. Okay, because the old requirement we have to remove. Sometimes you can do it or you cannot do it. At the end of the day, it will become a very big issue to test. Understandable. The more the information you have, the more smarter we will test. Yes, the last point is very, very important. The more the information we have means what? Tester should have 100% knowledge on project. Who will teach to tester? Business analysts have to teach to tester here. Now we are BA. As a BA, you have to teach project to them, because you are the one who are preparing test cases, correct? So you have to explain the project. See, for example, if I ask you to test Gmail and you people don't have any idea what is Gmail, you blindly look into my test case and test it. So do you think that it is going to work? No. If you understand what is Gmail, if you understand what is login process, how to send an email, what is the purpose of this, and if you have 100% knowledge on the application, then you will do thorough testing, enough testing. I mean, even looking at the test case, also you will understand what is coming, what is output. That will be easy for you. Correct? Otherwise, blindly you look at the test case, each and every test case you copy and test it, and that's it, end of the day. So what I'm trying to say is, the more information you have, the smarter you will test. So this is also testers. Okay? You don't need to look into this. Yeah, this is V-shaped model. In the left side you have software development, in the right side you have different types of testings like acceptance, system testing, integration. You will see all these things now. Next, here is an important topic, important point. Is complete testing possible? Can you give me guarantee? Is there any guarantee that? If there is a guarantee, then why you are giving guarantee card, warranty card and all this? Tell me. If there is a guarantee, if there is a proof, okay, then why we need support team? Tell me. There is no guarantee. Okay, let's see. Is complete testing possible? To prove that a program is free of bugs, practically impossible. They cannot test 100%. Practically impossible. Because how will you test 100%? Tell me. See, now you brought a new phone and you installed 100 games from Google Play Store and you started playing on them. Now your mobile is not supporting for some games. Maybe that is a fault of that game also. That is the reason when you look into Play Store application, you will get some reviews, right? One fellow say that, hey, I am using Samsung Galaxy. In this Temple Run is not installing. One fellow say that, hey, I am using HTC Design. The Temple Run is installed successfully. It's excellent. So, do you think that the Samsung people, they will install all these games and test before selling the mobile? Do you think that? Or let's assume Samsung people design a mobile today, tomorrow they'll get a new game in the market. So do you think that they keep on testing all the games? For that, of course they will be upgrading the versions and models, of course that is right, but there is no guarantee. We cannot test it. What they will do, they will just high level, the important, only the must and should requirements only they will test it, that's it. That is what they are saying. To prove that the program is free of bugs, practically impossible and theoretically man-mouth exercise. Yes, man-mouth exercise means you can say, yes, see what you want a mobile. Mobile is for communicating device, yes. 100% it is used for communicating device, but we are not sure that we install some third-party application and don't ask us. Okay? That is what the point is. That is, we can never be sure of the verification system has been implemented without any bug. Verification system, you use automation tools, any tools, you cannot, because how will you identify the upcoming bugs, correct? No, you don't have any idea. No verification system can confirm of bugs. Yes, no system. We aim it, not absolute proof, but a suitable convincing demonstration. Yes. We cannot give absolute proof. We cannot give 100% guarantee, but a suitable convincing demonstration. Like, see, you are looking for a phone, so we are giving these features. That's it. We are giving a FaceTime option. We give a voice chat. We give a video conference. You can install Facebook. You can install Google. You can install that. They'll give you these stuff things. They'll tell you before only when you go to buy a mobile. Okay, that's it. But after that, if you install third party and after a year you come up with a new software and you say that it is not installing it, that is not their fault. Okay, that is the reason people will be upgrading their mobile versions and all this. Perfect. Next. A quantitative measure, statistical measure of software reliability. Correct. Quantitative measures. How much? Okay, weightage of each and every requirement. Judgment of enough. Yes, it says enough. Okay. So up to this we can test it like this. Enough. They will say. They will give a proper judgment or something. And next, here is one more point. It's also very, very important. And we'll listen to this and we'll stop it for today. Okay. And tomorrow we'll discuss UAT, user acceptance testing, and the bug life cycle and different types of testing. Very, very important. Okay. Very, very important topics we'll be discussing tomorrow. Okay. Now stop criteria means, I don't want to read all these things. I'll tell you it's very simple. Let's say there are 5,000 requirements. Okay. So, do you think that you will test all the 5,000 requirements? How much time it will take? Just think. How much time it will take? Okay, let's say you test 5,000 requirements and the duration is only 1 month. How it is possible? So what we do here is, I already told you, we put some proper judgment. I mean, for must requirements we'll test some, for the should requirements we'll test something. That is quantitative measures. And here they are talking about stop criteria. You understand that point, right? What I told you? How much to be tested? The quantitative measures. And here it comes stop criteria. Stop criteria means, as I told you, like we have 5,000 requirements. So you started testing. Listen carefully. You started testing. Today you identified 100 bugs. Okay? You identified 100 bugs. Okay, now these 100 bugs are sent to technical people. They are working on it. Tomorrow again you identified 100 bugs. So like this, if you keep on identifying huge number of bugs, so up to what extent you will test it? Tell me. You got my point. You understand my point, right? What I'm saying. So someday we have to stop it, correct? So that is the reason what they will do is, for example, there are 5,000 requirements. 1,000 bugs are the max, or the 500 bugs are the max. If you cross more than 500 bugs, stop testing. That's it. That is nothing but stop criteria. Let's say let's say, once again I'm telling you, let's say you designed a Gmail application or a Facebook application. So overall requirements are 1000. So we use 1000 requirements and design the Facebook. That's fine. Now, you started testing. Testers started testing. Today they identified 100 bugs. See, the requirements are 1000. You identified 100 bugs. Okay. Then we send it to technical team. They are working on it. To fix these 100 bugs, it will take 1 month time. It took 1 month time. Okay, that's fine. And meanwhile, after again you are testing. After 15 days, again you got 100 more bugs. So again to fix these 100 bugs, it will take 1 more month. So how many days, how many bugs you will fix like that? Tell me. And how much time it will take? You tell me. And one more point. For 1000 requirements, if you find 100 bugs, these 100 bugs will depend on some other requirements. Correct? Like this, if you see, these 100 requirements, 100 bugs will depend on 100 requirements. These 100 requirements are depends on some other 100 requirements. Correct? You got my point. So like this, overall project is failure. So now the testing manager will simply say that for 1000 requirements, 100 requirements are the maximum. If you find more than 100 bugs, simply stop it. Stop testing and give that handle and inform the project manager that the project is completely failure. Because otherwise, you know what happens? Every time you are designing, you are testing, and again working on it. It will take years of time to fix the thing. The same time what you took to design the project, again the same thing it takes in testing also. Are you following me what I'm saying? So this is nothing but a stop criteria. You can see time runs out, poor criteria. Of course, simply you will be wasting your time here by testing each and every requirement. That is the reason for 1000, maximum we can say 50 bucks or 100 bucks. If you find more than 100 bucks, then immediately stop testing and report it to manager. That's it. That's what they are saying. Look at this, the last point. Stop when testing becomes unproductive. Example, system testing stops when the number of errors detected per testing person day drops under 1. I mean, let's say there are 5 testers. Manager will tell you, testing lead test manager will tell that, Mr. Sriram, your bug numbers are only 20. If you get more than 20 bugs, stop testing. Don't go further. Okay, like this. 5 people, 520 bugs. That's it. Stop it. So you can see, use error prediction. Example, stop testing when the number of bugs left over reduces X by 1000 LOC, line of contact. So for 1000 requirements, let's say 100 or 50 or will be the max. That's it. If you cross more than that, stop it. Clear? This is nothing but stop. Do you have any doubts? It's pretty simple. What are the things we discussed today is, just let me walk through. I'm sorry. So first we talked about manual testing, automation testing, and IEEE 83 standards, and primary roles of testing. And if developer designer is really accurate, then there is no use of testing. So is it? I mean, we need a testing or not? So for instance, confidence, we need testers. And bugs can be from anywhere: languages, databases, operating systems. And this is all about tester maturity. In what way the tester should think? Okay, tester is here not to identify, not to show that someone is doing wrong. Okay, tester is not here to show that developer is wrong, designer is wrong. Their job is to find the bug. That's it. Their job is to see that the software is working right or wrong. That's it. Okay, that's what we learn here. And is testing everything? No, it is not. We cannot skip testing. Testing is mandatory. Without testing, we cannot design a project. We cannot finish a project. Okay. These are some principles about test cases. About test case, already you know. If it has the test case, every requirement should be traced to test case, and it will have you have to compare actual result and expected result, and all these things. Next. This is all about like stages: operability, observability, controllability, decomposability, simplicity, stability, understandability. And then we talked about V-shape model. On the left side we have development, on the right side we have testing. So we will look into this acceptance, system integration. Is complete testing possible? No, not possible. Not at all. Okay. So stop criteria. Yes, we have to stop up to some, according to some. That's it. Okay. And in the next session, we will be discussing what is the difference between manual and automation testing, and software testing life cycle, manual testing, automation testing, test plan. We don't look into test plan, okay? We won't look into it because this is done by test manager or test lead. We don't involve here. Types of testing we will discuss. I'll teach you all these testing. Black box, white box, unit testing, incremental testing. Give proper examples. Okay. Right? So there are around 15 to 20 different types of testing. Very, very important topic. Tomorrow don't skip the class. Okay. Tomorrow class will be very, very important session. Today whatever we discuss is all just high level understanding the things. That's it. But tomorrow's class will be very, very important because we'll be discussing about different types of testing and bug life cycle also. So these all are automation tools, Mercury tools, IBM Rational tools, open source tools, Quick Runner, Win Runner, Test Director, Load Runner. Okay? We look into, I mean, just an idea about all these things. We don't look into this real-time QA environment because we are not QAs, and we don't involve in testing interview questions. We are not testers. Mock interview for testers, not for us. Okay, and this is all for testers only. So here comes bug life cycle. I'll copy this and paste in a different document and I'll teach you. Okay, don't worry. This is very, very important. Bug life cycle. I mean, from where it starts. What the life cycle of the how to identify a bug, then how to fix it, what has structure the life cycle. Okay, it's very, very important. And then we talk about at last user acceptance testing. So in this we will talk about alpha testing and beta testing. That's it. So we'll talk about UAT, bug life cycle, and different types of testing, and some blah blah information, high level information like what are the automation tools and manual testing differences between them. That's it. And software testing life cycle. So these are the topics we'll discuss tomorrow. And I also give you this voice presentation. Just look into that today. Okay. Do you have any doubts in today's session?
I think I need to go over everything again and just to understand and grasp everything properly.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. Nothing to worry here. It's very, very simple. Actually, these all things are done by testers, not by us. So don't worry. And second point is, if you know that what that people are doing, what these testers are doing, you will be very confident. That's it. That is what I'm trying to help you out. So generally, we don't teach this in BA. This is not a business analyst topic, testing topic. But when you join in an organization, if someone is saying something, if someone is talking about something, if you know, I mean, you feel very confident. Oh, I know that. Already we talked about it. If someone is talking about unit testing, someone is talking about integration testing. So if you don't know what is that, and if you don't know really what testers do, and if you don't know what is in the stop criteria, these are the words generally we use if we come across in real time. So if you come across these words, you will feel very confident. Yeah, I know that. Correct? That is the reason I'm trying to help you out. That's it. Okay?
Okay. Good night, Shriram. Thank you.
Yeah, bye-bye. Take care. See you tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay, sure.